15. 85. Hot. 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 Look to the sideline. Get your play. Call timeout. We didn't get him to jump. 1585, man. We back, bro. How's it been, man? I mean, shoot, you're a champion again, right? Didn't your team win?
Not really a champion, man. We just won a bowl game. We just won a bowl game. It was no thing. We didn't win our league, but we still got a bowl game trophy. So you know how that works with the bowl game wins. It was pretty cool. It was a fun experience.
It's always cool to get the dub.
You guys, man. You guys got a runner-up, CIF runner-up, huh?
I have to reflect and give these boys their props. They went from having 25 kids to 30 kids. And I think that 30 was a solid 20 kids that could play. And you know how a lot of teams are made up of, it's like the movie 300, where they had 50,000 soldiers and they had 50,000 people and they only had 300 soldiers. I'd take 300 soldiers over the 50,000 people. So when I was looking at the teams we played against, it was usually 60 versus 20, but I would take the 20 we had. And that's kind of how we made it to the championship. Is we had solid dudes. Once my son and his two friends joined the team, it gave us a little bit more girth. And that's kind of what you need in these smaller divisions, is the ability to control the line of scrimmage in any football game, really. And when we got that, Coach Lara implemented an unbalanced set and threw my kid at tight end, threw Teapot and Eric in there at line, opposite tackles, double guards, and we just ran the football, which opened up the passing game, and we ran that thing all the way to the championship. Championship game, we just came out flat, man. Just came out flat, like Jackson State came out flat today.
Oh yeah, Jackson State did not look good today. But South Carolina State was looking flat until they got that fumble. So it was a flat game. It didn't live up to the HBCU hype that they got this spring. It kind of threw it off a little bit.
Yeah, you want to show what you got every time you're on TV, and that one wasn't a good representation, but I think the buzz is still hot. And that could be our segue to our first topic. Let me give the quick rundown. Y'all, appreciate y'all coming through. We got 4 cats in the building. Are we sharing it? Let me share this real quick before we get going, man. Share to your pages. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, comment button, whatever you're going to press a button. Help us get back out there. We back, man. If it's going to be Friday or Saturday, we got to figure this out. We're not sure yet, but we want to make sure the people know we in the house. 1585 show. Yes, sir. Let me share this thing with the Bruins page. Share to a group. Come on, Bruins at UCLA fan club page. Here we go. All right, man. And since we're coming back, might as well play our intro. It's been a while. Here we go. We're muted on when they play that. We're muted, but they can hear the track. So, yeah, let's get it going, man. So, 5-star players, first one ever. They say Deion flipped them. What's your reaction to a 5-star recruit picking Jackson State over Florida State?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes, man, with this recruiting stuff, it's kind of a crap.
I think we got a crash.
Look, all the part of what we call 5. So it's good, man. I think NIL has changed it because the one thing that the PWIs had over the HBCUs is they can give you more resources. Now, as a player, a high-profile player, you get your own resources with these NIL deals. You don't need to worry about that. You can Josh Rosen it with the hot tub in a room. You can do all that stuff now. So I mean, I'm not surprised, especially with everything that's transpired over the past 5 to 6 years, with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. A lot more kids are starting to become socially conscious. A lot more of our Black community is becoming socially conscious. Like, why are we giving our talent to the PWIs when we can give them to the HBCUs to make a better HBCU product? Even though, like we were talking earlier, I think Jackson State and South Carolina State kind of dropped the ball. I was looking for a better aesthetic to the game. But hey, you got to start somewhere, and I think that this kid joining will force others' hands to join as well. I mean, you already seen it in basketball a little bit, and now we're gonna start getting it with football, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy about it. I mean, will it hurt my Bruins probably in the long run? Yeah, but to see our HBCUs getting the players that back in the days, the reason why they created HBCUs because these players would never get a chance. They wasn't getting no opportunities. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to take those opportunities and their talents down to the South, to these HBCUs, and that's going to be a great thing.
So we're talking about Travis Hunter, 5-star, do-it-all athlete, changes his mind from Florida State to Jackson State. And I'm also reading right here that Deion's son, Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback who did not have a great day today, had 3 picks, but he signs a NIL deal with Tom Brady 2 days ago. This is unprecedented, man. This wouldn't have happened 3 years ago. So it's crazy. Is it bad for the Bruins? I think it's bad for most PWIs. And it's not bad, it's just challenging. Like, I was pretty upset when I heard the ignorant comments saying these kids are making a mistake. And
Gottlieb?
Yeah, it's Doug Gottlieb, man. I mean, he sounds just as ignorant as Michelle Tafoya. When you make those types of statements and it's embedded and entrenched in racism, if you don't know, we're going to have to educate you on where you look like you stand when you say something like that. Yes, we know that facilities aren't there at the moment, but to make a mistake, I think that's kind of cruel and ignorant and false. I know Hersey Miller, Mr. Master P's son, who is at Tennessee State, is now in the portal because he got injured and did not have the medical, I would say, access. He wasn't getting the medical treatment necessary for him to be, treated by the best doctors or whatever it might have been. That's a black guy, but Master P has the resources to make sure his son had the best surgeons and stuff like that. So is that just a cop-out to jump out of a situation that he might not have been familiar with going in? It was a feel-good story going in. He got a $1 million NIL deal going into Tennessee State. But it's just all these little jabs. And what Doug Gottlieb said is that the kid made a mistake. I was like, you have to watch what you say because it does come across as racist. I'm not sure how you felt about it.
Yeah, I felt the same way, man. I was, Gottlieb has a platform, and his platform is with ESPN. The HBCU don't meet the HBCU programs don't meet the ESPN hype machine or what ESPN is selling kids. I mean, people didn't care about facilities 15 years ago. ESPN started saying, well, look at this building that you get to go in. I had no plan on spending all my time inside of a facility. I was there to get in and out, get back to the comforts of my apartment or wherever I was staying in the dorm and get away from football. They want these guys to spend their whole time down there. They put barbershops in there. Some of the locker rooms, where the locker rack got like a little cot, like a little bed here. Yeah. They have game rooms and all that stuff, man. I mean, to me, I'm like, you're not giving these guys the real student athlete experience because you're too busy keeping them in the athletic facilities by giving them all these toys and stuff to tinker with. Like, I don't have to go to my dorm. I'm quite sure a lot of stuff is happening inside these facilities too, sneaking girls in and doing all type of stuff that probably shouldn't be going on, but that's not what they're going to tell you. So it's crazy about how facilities that you spend your time in has become a big pitch, a big sale, or what we can do for you. A lot of times the players, I mean, in our day, yeah, we cared about getting treatment and stuff like that, but we really wanted to just get from the facilities when practice was over with, not stick around and hang out. I mean, I know a lot of dudes that was taking a quick shower and they was gone.
Out.
You didn't see them until the next day. They were out. So it's just one of these things where you have a new, I hate to say this, it's like, let's make the plantation look great so we can keep them around, so we can control them and not have to worry about, them going out there, doing crazy stuff. Like if you ever watch the ESPN 30 for 30 with the U, how them dudes was out there in the streets grinding after practice, robbing people, doing things like that. I mean, yeah, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, it's still not a very genuine college experience if the guys are spending 80% of their time in the facilities.
Rodney Saucier sums it up very well. Doug Gottlieb has never been to a Howard homecoming.
Would he even enjoy himself at a Howard homecoming?
I think so. I went to the Howard homecoming this year, and I seen several white guys having a pretty good time. And the young sisters were not ignoring them. So they were enjoying themselves very well. And it is I don't know, man. It's just, we talked about this before on our show, had we been heavily recruited from the HBCUs and had things been a little bit different, how you had dreams of Southern and I had dreams of Grambling or whatever we had dreams of, and because we were brought up and we saw the halftime show. And, I mean, had I taken a trip to Southern, had I taken a trip to Howard or, somewhere that they had, it was just a party of loved ones for a weekend. Like, we had fun at UCLA on our trips, but when we got to school, it was nothing like our trip. Like, our trip was like a facade. It was just like what could be if it's a turned up weekend, but it never happened out. It was never like that all the time. My daughter at Howard, I believe it's like that every day. Just black excellence everywhere and loved ones everywhere, and there's a party every night and guys hanging out and girls hanging out every day in the quad and walking down the street, and I'm just like, man, y'all got it good up here. Like, this is like live. I didn't see this until like a special occasion. We had to go to Freaknik to see this many black people. So it's gonna be enticing for the kid who knows they have the skills to play on Sunday. We're talking about football specifically. I'm sure Prime's sales pitch to the young kid was, you come with us and you perform, you play on Sunday. They're going to come see you. You're going to get exposure as a pro. If you come here to Jackson State, the NFL scouts are going to believe that I put my name on it, that this kid is going to play on Sunday. You don't have to go to Florida State and be in a coaching shuffle. You don't have to go to Ohio State and not get your spot and be in the transfer portal next year because you didn't get the playing time you wanted. You come to Jackson State, you're going to play, and you're going to get exposure. We're on TV. He said we were on TV every game except for one. So I'm sure that's what was the selling point. And he now doesn't have to compete with the bag. The NIL levels the playing field. So for these kids who want to play on Sunday, Deion, Eddie George, Hugh Jackson at Grambling State, those are the NFL connections that the kids want. And it's no longer a must to go to Alabama. Now, I just saw Eli Ricks from Mater Dei to IMG to LSU to the portal is now going to Alabama with that loaded secondary. So I think the guys are, guys are looking at the pros, not just the money right now, but they're looking at long term. Who's going to the pros? The Alabama team. Everybody from Alabama is going pro. Whereas I don't think he had to go to Alabama to go pro. This kid is 6'3" and has all the skills in the world. He could have stayed at LSU and went pro. So we'll see, man.
But like you said, with Florida State, LSU is the same way. There's always coaching uncertainty at LSU. I mean, for a program to be as successful as it is, they change head coaches quite a bit. And every coach, even Saban kind of went out not on a high note. It's like LSU, forget that from the 1960s all the way to the 2000s. They were like a obscure school. They were like having losing seasons and not being dominant. Saban actually kind of put them back on the map as a program, and now they have this aura about them, like, hey, we're a premier program. Hey man, some programs don't reload the way Alabama reloads. And the Saban, he has that pipeline right now. Man. But let Prime start getting about 4, 5, 6 guys to the league. It's gonna change. It's gonna change. The only problem I don't like about the HBCU system is that it's still in the South. And that it's hard to really get brothers knowing really really good brothers to go down there and say, hey, I'm gonna dog it out here in the SWAC or or in the MEAC just in order to get an opportunity when I can go to Alabama. I'll be playing PWI, but I'm gonna have, like you said, facilities that are gonna keep me comfortable. I'm gonna have surroundings that are gonna keep me comfortable. So it's gonna be, we're gonna see a challenge, and I think that the powers to be are gonna challenge that pipeline. They're gonna do a lot of extracurricular to find ways to bring down some of these HBCUs that are gonna be bringing in at least 3-star kids, a couple of 4-star kids, maybe even a couple of 5-star kids, and they're gonna try to do their best to make sure that those opportunities for them to make it to the next level are going to be limited, because they're going to still treat the HBCU product as if it's less than. The thing about today, I was able to watch even the FCS playoffs in Montana State and who was it? Montana State and South Dakota State. They didn't look that much different from Jackson State and South Carolina State, but they get more love when it comes from the NFL scouts. I mean, look at North Dakota State with their quarterback lineage now going into the NFL. None of those dudes have become big stars, but they're there. Wentz, Easton Stick, and now your guy at the 49ers. And then they're talking about this next guy is going to be an NFL pick. So, I mean, we're going to see, man. This is going to be interesting. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad Prime is able to kind of change the conversation on this. What it's going to really do is make some of the PWIs really step up their program. But it's going to also make the HBCU communities go, okay, in order for us to keep this going and make it good, we're going to have to go all out. I think you can get more alumni pitching in and doing things that's going to help these kids when they get on campus have a better experience.
When they start getting the linemen, they're going to shut some stuff down. When they start taking the big heavies, they're going to start trying to crack down on this, and it's not going to be as easy as it was for Prime to snatch this young man out of Florida State's grasp. Rodney Saucier said, when I was at Howard, all the ball players at nearby PWIs, Mutombo, Mourning, Iverson, spent all their off-court time at Howard. They used Georgetown University, Maryland, etc. strictly for sports, but they hung out at the Mecca. At HU, know. But I wanted
Georgetown ain't that far from Howard.
I wanted to go to Georgetown in middle school because we watched the Hoyas.
Georgetown was the HBCU.
We did. We thought Georgetown was a straight black college. It had John Thompson with the towel. Rest in peace. I said that's a miss. That's a tough HBCU. And back in those days, I didn't know what the list of HBCUs were. I just knew it was Grambling State, Southern, Georgetown. Nope. They're like, no, Georgetown ain't no black college. I'm like, no way. Ain't nobody else on the team. I thought
Temple was.
Yeah, Temple right there by my dad's. Down the street from my dad's house in North Philly. Villanova. Temple. I thought these was black schools. Black coach. But now Villanova's coach was not. He was Riley Massimino. But Temple. And Aaron McKee and them guys. Oh, yeah. I thought that was a black college. All right, man. I don't own the rights to this music. Please don't shut us down. Moving on, man. Urban Myers, man. He's apologizing and crying on TV, saying he's deeply hurt. Do you buy it? Do you buy it? Do you buy the Urban Meyer apology?
Urban Meyer, you know what I'm saying? What Urban Meyer got, and me and one of my boys talked about this some years ago. Some people have God complexes. They think that they can do whatever they want, and there's not going to be that much of a repercussion. And if there is one, they're going to automatically be forgiven, and they're going to get the next opportunity. I mean, when we think of Urban Meyer, he left Florida supposedly he was burnt out. You know what I'm saying? What I heard is that he wasn't really recruiting that well anymore at Florida, so he had to get out of there. He gets to Ohio State. You have the whole thing with the assistant coach that was beating up on his wife and stuff like that. You had that situation. It seems like wherever Urban Meyer goes, he's going to have trouble. Only time we didn't hear about him having trouble was at Bowling Green and when he was at Utah. We didn't hear nothing. But, the higher profile of the program, the more dirt is going to get out. I mean, Urban,
you don't have to go to Florida.
And they're going to get the next opportunity. I mean, when we think of Urban Meyer, he left Florida. Supposedly, he was burnt out. Once he got to the NFL, he realized this is different. And I think he was looking for escape plans. I think he was trying to find what's the best way to get out of here without quitting, making it seem like I quit. Because when you look at Jacksonville, they did not look organized at all. And the fact that they won 2 games was amazing. But they did not look the part. They did not look the part at all. So Urban being out, I think it was coming. If he wouldn't have quit at the end of the season, something would have happened in the off season. I mean, I heard they said he kicked the kicker. Like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? He's a grown man. You do just want to hurt you.
I don't buy that, man.
So what you think?
I don't buy that he hauled off and kicked him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I told the story about the student who told on the security guard that he kicked her when all he did was scoot her foot over to stay in line straight. And she went and reported that he kicked me. And the man lost his job. Her word versus his word. And the fact that he said he kicked him, not to jump on Urban Meyer's side, but it was like, come on, man, you're a grown man. Another grown man kicks you. It ain't going to take you 3 months for you to say something. I just know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one thing. But I believe what Sunshine said was probably more damaging in that we just need to get some. He said we need to get some discipline. He said something, whereas it's just too much chaos here, whatever it was. A rookie quarterback does not need to be going through that. If nothing else, he needs structure.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to, you almost need Tom Coughlin to come back and run a military, regiment type of thing. But him apologizing, this is very reminiscent. I mentioned this before. I believe I went on the Collective podcast and mentioned it. This feels like Paul Pierce self-sabotaging himself to get fired. And if they can't prove cause, then they got to keep paying him. So if he can finagle his way out of here by crying and doing the Kyle Rittenhouse and start crying and get the fake cry going and people have some sympathy for you, and he mess around and get 3 paychecks like Chip Kelly did from the Eagles, San Francisco, and Oregon, wherever he was getting paid from. It's like, if they do it right, you can get 2 paychecks. Watch this. I'm going to give it a shot. So I don't buy it. I believe he'll get a coordinator job somewhere cushy. I don't think any more prominent head coaching jobs are available. I believe UCLA is probably backed off of the Urban Meyer, idea, because there's just too much dirt. I mean, and he looks corporate enough, but he's so slimy on the side. Like, he was once revered as a God-fearing man. He had, I brought in Tebow, and he's my guy. But then you had Aaron Hernandez, was a straight gangster. So,
yep.
Is he trickier than Les Miles and Jim Tressel? He's in that boat now. Even Ed Orgeron has a little shiftiness in that he's a ladies' man and he's dating really young women, and then there's no crime with that. Once you are no longer married, there's no crime. But him, what is he? Mm-hmm. Is Urban Meyer married?
Yeah, he's married.
And he's married. He was in the little cowboy boogie getting it down with the co-eds. Does that just go away?
That's his bar, though.
That's his bar.
That was his bar, though. And that's his bar in Columbus, Ohio, that he did all this in. And the thing is, he got to know that he's high profile, man. That's why it's
Paul Pierce, man. It's Paul Pierce, man. You can't do that stuff if you work for Disney, Paul Pierce. And Urban Meyer knows he can't be feeling, but then, like I said, but if he's married, would he risk the wife beating him down and the backlash of being seen all out in the public? Like, if you really got to get it going, There are private spots, but you in the open, getting your Trump on. So I don't buy it, man. He. I mean, at one point I was like, bring him to UCLA, but I'm just kind of like, you know what, man? I'd rather just ride out with Chip, man. Let's just ride out with Chip. If we're gonna be like, I mean, I don't know, man. I want to jeopardize and compromise character for the opportunity to possibly be good. And there ain't no guarantee he's going to be good because he can't recruit the thugs that he could recruit at Ohio State and Florida.
No.
It's still got to be a clean-cut cat. Yeah. All right, man. Steph Curry broke the record. Best shooter ever or no?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say, man, because the game has evolved in so many ways. You got to remember, man, there were guys in the 70s, 60s, early 80s before they came up with the three-point line that can pop it from all over the court. It was just a two-point shot. With more media coverage and, more social media and all that stuff, he's that guy. He's the guy who made deep shooting sexy, man. He really made it sexy. He made it the thing to do. Half court shots from the logo. He's shooting in the warm-ups from the stands. He's really made it.
The bathroom. He's
really made it the thing to do. I remember when Kevin Love, when he was at UCLA, would shoot full court shots and make them, in practice. Curry, man, and it's one thing I always liked about Curry. You can tell that man works hard on his game. He works hard on what he can do. He knows he doesn't want to go to the basket and get beat up and get fouled and all that stuff. So he keeps his game to where it's at, and he plays a percentage game. If he can shoot over 40% every year and just hoist threes, I mean, I was looking at his stats. He's had seasons where he shot more threes than twos in the NBA. So more threes than he shot free throws. So this man, he's just gonna make his living. He's like NBA Live, a 1995.
Video game.
You get to Golden State Warriors. Right now, him and his brother are statistically two of the greatest shooters to ever live. Steph is a lot better, so he gets to shoot, man. And they come from a bloodline of shooter. Their dad's a shooter. Their dad was a shooter. He's a 3-point specialist. So it's just that this is the way the game is, man. It's more AAU-ish. If you watch AAU ball, the 90s, 2000s, there was a lot of guys just shooting threes and doing a lot of that stuff. So Curry is getting it done, man. I don't know, man, because to say that he's the greatest shooter of all time, when I've seen a lot of great shooters, Bird, Ray Allen, whose record he broke, Reggie Miller, man. I've seen the highlight today when Reggie Miller pushed Jordan, caught the ball and hit the three to put them ahead to win the game, basically. So I mean, there's some great shooters out there, but he makes it to where that's his primary weapon. And he's getting it done, man. And he has a great handle on him, too, which makes it tough. And he runs around the court dodging picks and stuff. A lot of those picks are kind of shaky. They could be illegal. But, hey, man, it is what it is. And, I'm glad that this man is getting it done. What they say about the NBA, the white guys are the shooters. And he's proved that wrong. And a lot of these guys are proving it wrong. Some of the best three-point shooters in NBA history are brothers. So it is good to see that Steph Curry, and he's doing it with some kind of some family turmoil. His parents, are going through kind of a messy split, and he's still doing this stuff. That can affect you, man. The Currys were looked upon as NBA royalty. Beautiful mom, NBA 3-point shooting dad, your brother's in the league, you in the league. They were kind of looked at as that, and with his play, nobody cares about that stuff. They just care about the fact that this man is possibly and arguably the greatest shooter to ever do it.
Yeah, you're a context guy and a stat guy, and I appreciate that. Statistically, he will go down as the best shooter of all time because he will have more attempts, he will have more makes than anybody ever. But like you said, the game has changed, which makes me rewind to our month-long debate on who was clutch. I still don't give him the ball. If I need a bucket, if I need a bucket, I know Elaine's gonna be mad. Rodney's laughing. Q don't agree. I'm giving the ball to Reggie Miller. I'm giving the ball to Ray Allen. I'm giving the ball to LeBron James. I'm giving the ball to Kobe Bryant. I'm giving the ball to Michael Jordan. I'm giving the ball to Damian Lillard. Robert Ory, who I saw tonight at the basketball game, Harvard Westlake versus St. Anthony. His son plays for the team. Big Shot Bob will shoot that thing with no time left for the game. Curry needs to have that signature moment. I know he's still trying to find it. I think he will get it until he gets one. Until he gets some Reggie Miller moments. Until Steph pushes Damian Lillard and pushes him off and shoots the three for the game in the playoffs or wherever is a big moment. That's what's missing. And I don't think he even needs a Finals MVP. I just know what's missing from. I got a mosquito in here. He's trying to get some blood. And I think if you're going to be the best shooter of all time, you should be clutch. You can't be Kyle Korver hitting 5,000 threes and he never shot a significant three. Like, I don't remember. Is Kyle Korver on any of those Heat teams? What was Kyle Korver's biggest shot? Who do you play for?
No, he wasn't on those Heat teams. He was on the Cavaliers teams, right? But Kyle Korver was just he was a gunner. He was always a gunner for a loser. You know what I'm saying? Like, he never, like you said, he never hit any clutch shots. He hit a bunch of threes, but never hit any clutch shots. So I'm with you, man.
I need to know you can make it when
that's tough.
I need to know you can make it when I need you to make
tough.
it. Ray Domingo in the house. Ray Domingo's a clutch shooter. Ray Domingo was knocking down shots on the Drew League and our adult league a few weeks ago. We were getting beat by 20, and he was keeping us in the game because he can shoot that thing. Most quarterbacks can shoot that thing. Is he the greatest shooter ever? One of the greatest shooters ever come out of Lakewood. Is that saying a whole lot? Yeah. Rest in peace, Brian Camper, one of the best players to come out of Lakewood High School. Ray Domingo was just reporting about the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley rematch, and he said that Woodley is now sleeping quietly like a baby because he can box. One punch. The one punch man. We got to hear Jake Paul's mouth.
He got knocked out
again. That's what I'm hearing.
Jake Paul knocked him out?
Knocked him out. He said sleepy time. Night. Night, knuckle. Night. From the corner of Sagona. All right, man. We'll check out. That's what YouTube's for us to catch up on what we missed. All right, man. Real quick, your NBA Final Four, your NFL Final Four. Let's go NFL first. As the NFL is shaking out, a few weeks left. What do you see? Top 2 NFC teams, top 2 AFC teams.
Top 2 NFC teams right now. I still would have to go with Cardinals, and man, and it pains me to say this, man, but Tampa. I think that would be the Final Four. Even though I think the Rams have a shot, the Rams are just. Matthew Stafford is an upgrade from the bum that the Rams had, Jared Goff, but he ain't good enough to get him there. I don't think so. So, it's going to be Cardinals, Tampa. Cardinals are going to have home field advantage. I don't see them losing too many more games as the season winds down, so they'll have home field advantage. And hopefully the Cardinals get them. On the AFC, man, the AFC is cloudy, man. That's one of the cloudiest. This is one of the cloudiest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna have to go with KC because they seem to be hot right now. And the other team, man, I'm just gonna say this maybe because I'm a fan. I think if the Chargers were to get into the playoffs, I think they could pull some stuff off. They match up very well with KC, and I think they're the one team that gives KC too many fits, but they will still have to get by. I don't think Buffalo's going to end up making it. New England's looking good, but I don't see Mac Jones. The teams in the playoffs are going to stop that run, and Mac Jones is going to be forced to throw the ball. So I'm going to go Final Four, Arizona, Tampa, KC, San Diego, or LA. What I'm talking about, San Diego, KC, LA.
I still call it San Diego too, man. All right, so I'm going to go with the Packers of Green Bay and A.A. Ron to kick an oblong pigskin through a giant H to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Battle of the Bays in the NFC. And Arizona as my third team, my Rams as my fourth team. I had the Rams picked to win the whole thing. But for some reason, I think I prematurely picked Green Bay last year. I think with all the turmoil and them getting this thing turned around, and these receivers playing pretty well, Lazar and Valdez-Scantling and that monster, Tay. I know Aaron calls him Tay, Devontae Adams. Those guys are pretty good, and the run game is still there. They can use it. So I think the Green Bay and Tampa Bay will be the face-off in the NFC. In the AFC, I have the Chargers of the formerly known San Diego area, the LA Chargers in SoFi Stadium, sneaking up and beating somebody in the wild card. But I do have the Patriots and Chiefs, just like you. I don't think Mac Jones and the 3-attempt 2-completion win will happen in the playoffs. You're going to have to be able to do both. With that being said, my other dark horse, which won tonight, is the Indianapolis Colts and Carson Wentz. And what's the running back's name? The front runner for the MVP? Taylor. I think he went to the house again tonight. They're going to shock some people because he can run the football like that. Mm-hmm. And Wentz is serviceable, man. We saw him in Philadelphia. We both saw how good he could be with Frank Reich as his coach. And that's kind of what they're going to – the Eagles are going to get a good draft pick out of this because Wentz is playing. He's not Tenderlove Davis, who was out for 4 weeks, as we saw again tonight. But this one was a legitimate injury, so I'm going to stall 80 out Tenderlove for this one. But he ain't let us down yet. He's tender. That's for sure. But, yeah, I'm going to go KC and New England in the AFC. Oh. And I'm just going to stay with that. All right, NBA, who you got?
NBA right now, if the season goes the way it's going, I see Phoenix and Golden State in the West. Those are the two best teams in the NBA right now, man. Those teams look good, man. They look really good. I know Golden State lost tonight without Draymond and Curry. But, man, they look really good, man. That team looks really, really good. Kerr has improved his coaching chops. But I don't see them beating Phoenix, though. I think Phoenix as a team is just too much for a lot of people. Even though Golden State might catch them a couple of times in the regular season, I just don't see in a 7-game series where they win, they beat Phoenix without Curry going crazy. Like you said, Curry ain't clutch like that. If they not blowing people out or they not just a better team, they're not just a better team against Phoenix. When I watch that Phoenix team, man, they remind me of old school basketball, man. They move the ball around, they dunk on people, they cut, they have a little bit of a post up guy in Aiden. They can shoot with anybody. I like them. So I think Phoenix might get back to the finals, man. I mean, I hate to say that, but just the Lakers just don't look good right now, man. The Lakers just look. And it's not LeBron, LeBron still is doing LeBron things. It's just the rest of these chumps, man. These geriatrics out there, they ain't getting it done, and it's just not really looking good.
Come on, Lakers.
And in the East, I know you would love to hear me say Philly.
No, we ain't got it, man. We ain't got it.
Philly will get it done.
We being held hostage, man. Ben Simmons is screwing us over, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Brooklyn ain't gonna make it because of COVID issues, and then they're gonna let Kyrie back, so that's gonna be gone. I see Chicago, Milwaukee in the East.
Wow.
Final, man. Chicago is, and I know if my man Rio was on here, he'd probably be clapping and cheering and saying, "What?" But
where's Rio at?
Man,
type Rio's name.
I like Chicago's big three in Ball, DeRozan and Levine, man. Those are 3 West Coast guys, you know what I'm saying? Two Bruins and a Trojan that's leading the charge, and they got really good supporting cast right now. So I like how Chicago's looking so far. I mean, I could be wrong, but right now I don't see Brooklyn. Brooklyn just they're the Lakers of the East. They got a better record than the Lakers, but that's because they're beating up on a lot of weak teams out east. But I think it'd be Chicago. I think Chicago's gonna pull an upset and get to that final, kind of like how Atlanta did to the Eastern Conference Final. So I see Milwaukee and Chicago.
Wow.
Who you got?
Wow. So in the West, I'm looking at my notes when I was on the Time Is Now on Tuesday, and we had our Power Fives. I said let's just do top 4. In the West Coast, man, I got Golden State and Phoenix, just like you. I have Utah right behind them. Lakers, Clips. I mean, I believe the Lakers can turn things around because they have LeBron James. And who knows, without AD these next 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, they might play better because now they have to play a true center and a power forward. And if they do go back to a style that's inside out, not an outside in, who knows? That might help Westbrook. They might help LeBron. That might help. And IT is a great addition. I was hoping IT would go to the Sixers. I mean, he's a fourth quarter player, and that's what most teams don't have is a fourth quarter player who's going to hit the bottom of the net like he was hitting the other night. IT's a fourth quarter bucket, man. So I think they might be able to figure something out. I've been hearing Vogel is the problem, and that he does not know how to manage all these old heads. But I don't know, man. I'm a Westbrook fan, but this is not the Westbrook that I'm a fan of. I don't know if this guy is sometimey. Westbrook used to be consistent and go hard all the time. So Golden State, Phoenix, and in the East, I got Brooklyn and Milwaukee. I still believe when Giannis gets ready to go, he can go. After the 17 free throw performance, I'm never going to doubt that man again. So I got Brooklyn and Milwaukee, and KD's playing out of his mind. Kyrie playing part-time. I'm not sure how that's going to work. That might mess things up. And that's when you like Chicago and the Sixers and the Heat have a chance. But again, with Ben Simmons holding the Sixers hostage, I don't think we're going to do a whole bunch. But Embiid's playing pretty good, man. Embiid's going toe-to-toe with KD the other night. And, he's still a formidable foe for the Nets. But like you said, the Nets going to fall apart when Kyrie becomes a part-time player. I'm not sure how that works. I think the last time we heard of a part-time player is a person that doesn't fly. He doesn't fly with the team. I can't go to certain games. So we'll see, man. That's Final Four. All right, so I changed the topic from when I put it on the screen. I put it in the slate. Team hazing. Tradition or crime? I'm going to put team initiations. My buddy Mark Paul Robinson, who actually works at Modern Day, I'm going to stall him out because he's my buddy. But the idea does not go away. The activity that might have been the truth is not going away. Every team you've ever been on, I'm sure there was some form of initiation. At what point does initiation and fun become crime, become criminal?
It becomes criminal when it's a player that people don't like. Remember, some years ago when Toledo was a coach at UCLA, we lost our superstar quarterback who had came in from Venice High School. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. He ended up going JP Lotion. He didn't like the hazing or the initiation. He didn't vibe with the players. Players didn't vibe with him. He took off and had a great career at Tulane, ended up being a first-round draft pick. I mean, who knows if he would have stayed at UCLA, would he had gotten that type of shine? But at the end of the day, man, I've been a lot of places or a lot of teams, I didn't say a lot of places, a lot of teams. If your teammates like you, the initiation can be fun. It can be a little degrading, but you know that they're not doing it to hurt you. They're doing it out of love. If it's a particular player that people aren't too fond of, that's where it becomes that challenge, where it becomes borderline. You get the wrong people hazing that person, or you get that, that person, they take it too serious. Then it gets taken too far, and that becomes a problem. I always enjoy how we did the Ugly Man contest at UCLA, and then the freshmen had to do skits and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. It didn't really get too far, except for a couple of times. But like I said, it was usually with players that guys wasn't particularly too fond of or they didn't care too much about. I know in the NFL, it's like that. You get a guy that ain't vibing in the locker room, that's the dude that you wake up in the morning, he take to the goalpost. Or, they pulled him out this room in the middle of the night. So, it can be crazy, but, a lot of people, and I get what the head coach at Modern Day was saying, if he had $1 for every time something like this happened, he'd be a millionaire. But at the end of the day, if he was at a lesser program, he'd be fired already. Because, there's supposed to be somebody maintaining vigilance in the locker room at all times. Me and my wife was talking about that. Now, can you do that? Well, is it feasibly done? No. You know, as a coach, I don't really tolerate my players hazing and doing those type of things to each other. And there's been times where I found out, you know, it didn't happen in front of me. It didn't happen in the locker room. They went off campus somewhere and they hazed somebody. And, you know, you get mad about it. You know, you explain to them the repercussions and the consequences of these type of things. But, you know, it's part of team sports, man. I'm quite sure it's part of the business world. It's a part of a lot of things in life, you know, where there's this initiation process. You know, we see it with our fraternities and sororities initiation process. So it's part of our lives. It's just that when we don't respect the boundaries of people and we don't respect the process of it, that's when it becomes something bad. And I think at modern day, because of who they are and what they have become, they felt that they were above the law. And they're finding out now, will they be above the law? Because if nothing really happens of consequence, they're going to open up a bag of worms for a lot of stuff like this to happen over and over again, at least in that program, or even more, or even the other high-profile programs across the country at the high school and college levels.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you mentioned the fraternities and sororities and the death that has happened over the years, there are people that have been killed. I mean, just because of the brutality and certain, you know, activities. But what I heard recently from the aforementioned high school, modern day, you know, how true is it? I mean, if they're playing and this is what they do, you know, that's what they do. They need to clean it up. But I know from personal experience, different places that I've played or coached, it's part of the territory. And it is, it's almost like when you're talking or bagging on somebody and you know that they are not okay with you bagging on them, and you have to jump in and say, stall them out. Because they're not okay with the dozens. They're getting personal and they're really getting mad, and it's time to stop. Whereas the next person might have a good comeback and laugh with you. And you say your mama's so strong, she still holds the record for the most bench press at the combine. And she's like, oh, that's because your mama's record only stood for 5 years. And then you know how that goes, and you know it's all fun. But there are some people. I remember rookie camp, Arizona Cardinals. Ty Howard refused to carry veterans' helmet and shoulder pads from the practice field to the locker room. And that was a simple initiation. A simple, like just grab, the vet say, hey, grab my stuff, Rook, and you grab the stuff. I got a video, I had an interview with Fox when I was a rookie, and they have a picture of me running away carrying like other people's gear. And I'm running with it like a bellhop. And that was part of our initiation. Well, Ty Howard from Ohio State, 3rd round pick. So our 1st round pick was Tom Knight from Iowa. 3rd round pick was Ty Howard from Ohio State. I was an undrafted free agent. So those are our three rookie cornerbacks. I didn't have a say. I had to do whatever the veterans told me to do. Sing, carry bags, tap dance on the stage in front of everybody. Sing Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire in front of everybody. And do it with an open, kind heart. Ty Howard refused to do anything. So Aeneas Williams was the prankster, veteran, Hall of Famer, well-respected, team pastor, man of God, was the craziest prankster. And he would warn Ty Howard, yo, if you don't do what the vets say, the knot man gonna get you. And we were like, what's the knot man? He said, like, oh, the knot man gonna get you. And everybody's like, yeah, the knot man coming. I'm like, what's the knot man? And he's like, you don't have to worry about that because you play alone. It's this dude right here. And I'm like, what is that? We getting through camp, and since he's a 3rd round pick, he got some money in his pocket. So they tell him to buy food for the team for the trip. He don't bring food. Strike 2. He ain't carrying bags. He not carrying helmets. He ain't gonna get the food. Ty Howard said, I ain't doing none of that stuff. And Ty Howard, 5'9", 200 pounds. And everyone's like, hey man, if you don't act right, it's gonna be knot man. He like, man, ain't nobody scared of no knot man. I don't know what that is. I'm like, all right, get closer and closer to camp. And I think he got their first checks or whatever. Go back to the dorm. All his clothes athletic tape, and soaking wet. Talking about all his designer clothes. You know how nasty athletic tape gets when it gets wet. It's like those clothes are ruined because they stick to the clothes, and even if you take it apart, it's still sticking to the clothes. So all his clothes were trash. He's mad about it. So he's really not doing no initiations. And they're like, you said the knot man got your clothes. You still not going to act right? And he's like, I ain't doing nothing. Anybody touch me, we fighting. Middle of the night, we in the dorms. We hear all this commotion. And we look down the hallway. They kidnapped Ty Howard. They kidnapped him, took him down to the facility, wrapped him up in tape like a mummy. Big dudes. Big dudes grabbed him, wrapped him up, and threw him in the hot tub. The hot tub, mind you, the hot tub is what? 5 feet deep? Because it's the kind you stand up in. And they wouldn't let us save him for at least like 10 minutes. We were trying to go save him because he's drowning. Because he's taped up from head to toe. And he's in a burrito. And he was, of course, he was panicking because he couldn't. He's 5'9" and he's in a pool, so he couldn't even stand up good because his arms are tied up. So he was trying to keep his balance, and he was hitting his head up against the side of the pool. And after everybody got their laughs, us rookies went and saved and pulled him out the pool. And he coughing up water and all kind of stuff, and it was just like, man, all you had to do was carry some bags. All you had to do was get Popeyes for the plane. And this is what they say, the knot man don't play. And the dudes that kidnapped him were all masked, so he don't know who did it. And it ain't like they didn't punch him, they didn't hit him, they just grabbed him and wrapped him up and threw him in the pool. I was like, welcome to the league. And I was just kind of like, now that's borderline. But, no harm, no foul. We all laugh about it at breakfast the next day. And he's sitting there mad. But it's just like, that's the stuff that goes on. I told a story about the guy. Yeah. We were on the Saints, and he hurt himself because he was mad about the initiation of the hazing. It was the gauntlet. And you have to run through the hallway in the dark. And everybody's hitting you and punching you and pushing you. And you run. This dude was a linebacker. He was a hard hitter. He was trying to take the mantle as the hardest hitter. He ran through the gauntlet. Everybody was hitting him. He was getting mad. He ran through the window at the end of the hallway.
Oh.
He didn't fall out, but he got cut up because the window broke. And it was like, he could have died because we were up, like, I don't know what floor we were on, but he almost ran through the window. He even got to practice the next day. He was all bandaged up. He couldn't practice. And Coach Ditka was like, I'm not sure what you guys got going on at the dorms, but you guys need to cut it out. We almost lost one of our brightest young players. I was like, he was over there bandaged up. No snitching. But yeah, man. But it was funny. But at the same time, it wasn't funny when he was all bleeding and stuff because the glass cut him up. Because I believe they were blindfolded. So he didn't know where he was going. He was just running full speed. And he ran out the side of the dorms. That's crazy, man. All right, man. Jalen Rose and Molly Curum Rose have called it quits. And our good buddy Stephen A. Smith, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true, but Stephen A. is now dating Molly.
Really?
I hope it's a rumor, man. Because Stephen A. said Molly was the real MVP last month. And I know Jalen and Molly have been separated for a while. But you still don't do that, man. I don't know,
man. From what we've heard about ESPN, man, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm a go with the sentiments of my wife when she first found out that Molly and Jalen Rose was married. What?
That they're married, period? What?
Yeah, like she's like, well, how did that happen? Like they worked together at ESPN. She's like, but I'm quite sure because at the time you got Kerry Champion, you got Marie Shriver. there, that's their name, right? Maria, whoever. Maria's pretty. So I'm
Maria
like,
Taylor.
so
Yeah,
he goes after Molly. He go after the Kardashian clone, because that's what she reminds me of. She reminds me of a Kardashian. And I didn't see, what she had that was so special. I mean, then again, I don't date her, so I don't know her like that. She could have been a very good woman, a very nice person, but they're breaking up. And, that's on them. But she kind of lost me after what she did with the LeVar Ball situation. How she tried to make it seem like LeVar Ball was curving out on her. Like, girl, please. You know why you on this show? You there because you're eye candy. They got 1,000,001 other reporters that are females that could do your job and do it great. But you're kind of good looking, so we're gonna put you out there. So yeah. Good luck to both of them. I know separations,
good luck.
Divorces aren't the best things that happen, especially when you're high profile, people all up in your business and stuff, trying to figure it out. Heck, we sitting here talking about it right now.
Hey,
I mean, I wish them both the best, man. I know how this could be crazy and tough for people, man. So good luck to both of y'all, man. I hope y'all find happiness where y'all couldn't find it with each other. And hey, man, I don't know, man.
Why get married? Like, why get married? Like, why do high profile flavor of the month couples get married? Why don't they just date? Like, it's a good chance this is not going to work out when the thriller's gone. Yeah. I believe, who stopped dating the other day? Was it Common and Tiffany Haddish? It's not a big deal if you just dating. We stopped dating. It was fun for a minute. I'm pretty sure they started talking about her playing FloJo, and Common probably got mad, like, you can't play no FloJo. And he got the hell no FloJo. I said, I got mad too. Like, you can't play no FloJo. That's blasphemy. You can't play FloJo. She said, I can't play FloJo. She ready. He probably said, you know what? I'm out. And that's that. That's it. It's over. And it's not a big deal. They were dating. Keep it date. Don't get married unless you gonna go before God and make it a real marriage. Don't be jumping up and marrying no celebrity because y'all flavor of the month. That ain't no thing to do. Now you gotta. What if y'all had a kid? It'd have been disastrous. That kid would have had to deal with 2 celebrity parents, and then you gotta deal with Stephen A. Smith trying to holler at your mom all the time. Oh man. I didn't see when Jalen Rose jumped up and married her. I'm like, hey bro, hey man, have you seen Taylor Rooks lately? That's who you should be hollering at. Yeah, you hollered at the wrong one. Taylor Rooks is the champ, is the one. I was like, hey, our boy Earl Woods is dating Joy Taylor. Then you got Carrie Champion. You got Maria Taylor. All of these young, vibrant sportscaster ladies. And you go with the one that's going to age the worst. Who's the most irritating host. Because she's driving me crazy when she was doing Stephen A. and Max. I don't know, guys. Hey, guys. We got to go to commercial break. Guys, stop. Guys. I'm like, oh, nah, man. She's driving me crazy, man.
I couldn't watch First Take no more, man. Between her and Stephen A., I just couldn't do it.
Her voice driving me crazy, man. Rodney Sausage said Tiffany knew from the start that Common doesn't stay with anyone more than 6 months. But all of a sudden, she's the one. Common was with Serena for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, because he gave Erykah Badu 2 6-month stints.
He got 2
He was dating Angela Rye. That dude does it all, man.
He dated Angela Rye?
He was with Angela Rye, man.
Angela Rye. I would think, but no, she's probably a little bit too political. Like, you'd be having a cool conversation that she want to talk about and get mad. Elaine in the house, I was like, yeah, we want to talk about, let's talk about the weather. No, let's talk about Black Power. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. I was trying to talk about.
I'm just
trying to have an easy little lunch. They ain't served us yet. It's because we're black. I'm like, no, it's because we haven't ordered yet.
Well, they should have asked us for our order when we walked through the door.
I'm saying,
they gonna eat here when we walk.
And if you ain't down for the cause, we can't be together. I'm like, I'm down. All right, man. wrap this thing up. Favorite lunch spot per city. Cities you've been to and frequented while you've been a resident of Southern California. I had brought this up because I was in your neck of the woods when you were head coach at Gardena winning championships. I was coming to your neighborhood getting a torpedo sandwich at Giuliano's. And I went last week.
Best.
It's ready. It's underneath the counter. You ain't got to wait. They pull it out from underneath the counter and slap it on the table, and you just grab it and go. When you're in Gardena, you hit Giuliano's torpedo sandwiches. What else you got?
Man, in the city of Gardena, they have this fuss spot called Faux Show. All right,
Faux Show.
And every time I used to go get my car service at the Honda dealership, man, I had it already planned out. I'm gonna go across the street. I'm gonna go when they open. I'm gonna go at the lunch break, and I'm gonna go get me some pho. So I would go to Faux Show.
Pho.
Right across the street from Gardena Honda. Faux Show, baby. I go there. So that was my spot in Gardena. Even though Giuliano's is a spot too. Give me a couple of sandwiches, a bag.
I gotta ask, man. Faux Show. When you came in, what they say? Yo, my nigga.
They got to know me after a while.
My soul brother.
I get my car service there, twice a year, man. And they see me coming in. And then before they open up the fuss spot down the street from my house, I still would drive to Gardena to get a bowl here and there and just bring it back home. So yeah, so Faux Show was my spot in Gardena.
What is pho? Is that just ramen noodles?
It's like chicken soup. It's Vietnamese chicken soup. Even though they have different flavors of it, they have beef, they have pork, they have shrimp. But I usually get the chicken or the beef one. It comes with mint leaves, onions, cilantro. You get the hot pepper sauce put in there. It's really good, man. I love pho. Because of UCLA, I eat pho. I had Vietnamese homegirls that made fresh pho all the time. So I would always go there. So, go to their house when they was making fresh pho, or if their moms brought in a big pot, I was always over. So, still don't taste as good as theirs, but since they both live in Atlanta and DC now, or in Baltimore now, I gotta go fend for myself when it comes to pho, and I go to Pho Show.
Rodney said Mr. Fries Man. I know Mr. Fries Man is in Vegas, I believe. Is that Mr. Fries Man in California?
No, Mr. Fries Man is in Gardena too. He's in Gardena too. As a matter of fact, his son went to Gardena High.
Okay.
Yeah, his son went to Gardena High. He wasn't one of my students, but he was a student there. So yeah, he was good.
Yeah, we went to the one in Vegas and I almost died, man. How you gonna serve a plate? No, how much food it was. How am I gonna serve 5 cut up potatoes to one person with a gang of meat and cheese on it? I mean, I didn't get to a potato to the third bite. I was eating just cheese and meat. And I'm like, there are some fries in here somewhere. And I'm like, I bought like 4 of them. They cost like $100. And I was just kind of like, okay, everybody say Mr. Fries Man. I'm like, I'm about to have a heart attack. And now I have diabetes. And I can't eat all this food. And
he hooked it up.
He hooked it up. You always need one for the whole family. I didn't know you could just get one for the whole family. I got 4. Just trying out different flavors. And it's a lot, man. You got to have you a nice, strong soda pop to make that stuff go down. I was like, it go down smooth and come up rough if you don't have some good pop. But yeah, I like Mr. Fries, man. It's in Gardena. Mike Reed said, correct. Giuliano's when you're in Gardena. Elaine said in Compton, Mama's Burgers. Did I have Mama's Burgers in Compton? You don't eat in Compton?
I usually pass. I don't usually make too many stops.
I know.
When I'm in Compton.
I know in Watts, I eat. What's the burger spot in Watts? Hawkins Burgers. Hawkins in Watts. When I was paying my dues as a teacher on 102nd Street and Success Avenue, where it wasn't much success happening, I walk across the street after I holler at all the gangbangers and I walk over to Hawkins Burgers. And then I saw Hawkins one time. They had a food truck at my kid's school in Cerritos. Man, you know how happy I was? I almost bought everything on the menu. I was like, Hawkins and Cerritos, I can have this good food without the fear of getting my burger snatched when I walked out the restaurant. Give me your burger, cuz. Give me your burger, blood. It was real.
Yeah, I'm about to say they don't say cuz. This is mostly, hey, blood.
Nah,
what you got in that bag?
Yeah, blood. And I'm like, well, it's Grape Street right over there. Yeah, man.
I got my burgers in that bag.
Hooked my former employees up with a couple times. I actually have the pandemic knocked down a lot of my favorite spots, man. In Lakewood, I used to go to the pastrami spot. Dang, what was it called? Right off of Woodruff. It was a pastrami spot. I used to take my.
Right.
Dang it, I forgot what it was called. I gotta look it up. Of course, in Philadelphia, you must go to is it D'Alessandro's or Gino's Steaks and get you a cheesesteak. You have to. It's part of the trip. It's part of your agenda. You got to put it on your agenda to get you a cheesesteak when you in Philly. Who was that?
Yep. I drove through Philly, so I never really stopped. But so I don't know, man. I wouldn't know about the cheesesteaks, brother.
You got to get you one, man. Roddy said it looked like Sherman Clump eating all that food, eating them fried man fries. Miss Mac in the house. Steven Burgers, the pastrami. I believe I had Steven Burgers pastrami. Yes. What city is that in?
That's South LA. That's South LA. That's right before you get to Gardena, because once you cross El Segundo, you in Gardena. So Steven's Burgers on the north side of El Segundo. So you're still in LA. But they got the best pastrami, man. I put it up against Johnny Pastrami's any day, man. They got the best pastrami. I love it there, man. I was mad. Somebody drove their car through the store, so it was like out of commission for like 3 months. Man, people was mad as hell. Like, where do these people live? We go to their house and get food.
Oh man, that was well. When I was playing for the Saints, we used to go to a place called Lil's, and Lil's was somebody's house. They turned their house into a restaurant. It was a block full of houses, a white house, looked like an old slave house. And my teammates took me up in there. I'm like, where are we going? They like, trust me. And they only take cash. We walked up in there. The living room had a couple tables. Dining room had a couple tables. Mama in the back. Daughter up front. Uncle in outside cleaning up. What you want, baby? I said, I'll have the oxtails. Man. Lil's. Of course, it was destroyed in Katrina.
Oh, no.
And then I think Hearst was our other restaurant on Airline Boulevard. Hearst. And I think they was destroyed in Hurricane Katrina as well. I'm not sure what was restored from insurance, but those places were magnificent, man. Those places is why Zion is so big these days. Like, is food in New Orleans, man. Everybody was here.
You can't miss too much in New Orleans, man. And most spots got some good food. Get some boudin balls. Get you some, any type of Cajun fish, or some shrimp or anything, man. I love visiting my in-laws down Louisiana, man. Some of the best eating you can do.
I don't know what they do down there. I think it's just because it's fresh. BT said Mark Ham, intermediate. Explain, BT. Johnny Pastrami or Langers? Yes, sir. Mike Reed know his food. Mike Steph said he wore a blue rag mask at Hawkins. You was going for yours. You were risking it all.
Mike Steph is crazy. I wouldn't. If I go to Hawkins, I'm wearing all pink. I figure I'm safe in that.
I'm wearing my school uniform from Watts Learning Center, Charlie Middle School. Yeah, that's Mr. Kai. Work at the school. He cool. Mike Steph said if he'd been to Geno's. Elaine said late hopping in was checking out The Black Godfather on Netflix. It's a must see. I've been told I got to get on that. I'm just late. It's on Netflix? I thought it was on Apple TV.
No, it's on Netflix. I was looking at it. Well, I was looking at trying to watch it the other day, but man, I'd be so tired. I need to catch up on a lot of shows on Netflix.
My man Mello said Wingfields in Dallas, if you ever in the area. Wingfields, write that down. I imagine they got wings. They must.
Man, they got this barbecue place in Dallas that the last time I was in Dallas, me and the wife went to. I can't think of the name of it, but that barbecue was so good. The brisket, the links, the chicken. Oh man, that was so good. The man was so nice. He even gave us the sauce for our own barbecue when we came back home. We did it once. It was really, really good. I ended up messing up the second time, running my mouth and ended up burning the barbecue. So, yeah. So I forget the name of the spot. If I could think of it before the show was over, I'll let everybody know. Man, that place was fire. Man.
Ms. Max said Brandon's talking about the Markham Middle School in Watts when you were talking about Hawkins. Oh, okay, yeah. Markham Intermediate School. Oh, them was some bad kids, man. We was getting
Markham was crazy.
We was getting the kids that they didn't want, man. I'm like, we was getting the kids. I mean, Markham. I ain't never seen so many unruly, troubled, difficult kids in my life. I was like, forget school. We got to get some act right in here. Respect. We're going to respect the classroom. That was a challenging year. And then once we got it going, they shut it down. I can't stand the education system, man. As soon as we got some act right, they shut the thing down. Oh, well, man. All right, man. That's it, man. What you got, man, on the way out?
Man, what I got on the way out, man, is good to be back, man. It's been an interesting 2021. As you know, that me and AC both been busy, coaching and working with the youth of America. As my wife put down there, Smokey John's. That's what it is, Smokey John's barbecue up in Dallas.
Smokey John's.
And it's, hopefully we don't have to go back. This Omicron virus, the Omicron variant, from what I've been reading on and watching on CNN is getting out of control. And hopefully they don't shut us back down. And I hate to go back in the pandemic. I've lost 23 pounds since I've been back to work. I've gone from 202 to 179.
Hey.
I've been doing a lot of walking and things like that. But I want to give a shout out to our UCLA Bruin brother, K. McNown, for making the College Football Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I had a chance to go see that in person, which was absolutely great. When you're in a room with Steve Spurrier, Peyton Manning, Randall Cunningham, Eric Dickerson, you in there with royalty, man. And the fact that when they were putting him in the Hall of Fame, they showed some of the highlights. The last highlight they showed was him throwing me a touchdown pass.
Hey.
So that was good. That I got to get a chance to be on the Hall of Fame highlight, man, and that was great. Hanging out with our brothers Andy Myers, Chad Sauter, Weldon Ford, Chris Ferris, Chris Saylor. That was just an amazing trip. And once again, thank you, Andy. As my wife said, shout out to Andy. Thank you, Andy Myers, man. I really appreciated that, man. That was big. That was really, really big, man. So absolutely amazing thing. But when we come back next week, we'll talk about our coaching and how that went for us this year.
All right, man. Well, Andy's setting up private jets and things. Look out for your OGs. Look out for the OGs who was there when you was a pup and brought you along the way. But that's cool, man. I saw y'all on that jet. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? Somebody's doing something foul. Somebody's not reporting their taxes. Something ain't right. But no, that was pretty cool, man. Seeing you guys all up, supporting our boy Cade. And I was talking about Cade to somebody the other day. I think the new UCLA commit from the portal reminds me of Cade. I believe he's left-handed too, a little stockier.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Cade a little bit. We'll see how that turns out. Man, my final words, man, I don't have a whole bunch. I'm kind of like looking at Mike Staff, said he's been holding it down when we've been gone. Coaching football is more than a notion. I didn't plan on getting back in the saddle, but the opportunity presented itself, and we actually had a pretty good season. And I, of course, grew to love the kids. And at the end of the day, that's kind of why we do what we do. You went back to coaching, yep. I went back to coaching, and we're in the education system. We're helping kids, and my day job is helping kids find their careers, find themselves internships so they can find what they want to do in life. And then as a coach, we're trying to help these students find out how this sport can help me become a well-rounded individual. If you make it beyond this level, great, but I would rather you get these everyday life lessons than anything else so they can navigate and be able to be flexible and take take loss, whether it be going back on shutdown, having to take a COVID test every week, being told you need a booster shot, the things that happen in life. I think sports can teach you how to internalize, to accept, to attack, to prepare, to understand when you can't control the outcome of some things. You're gonna have to just roll with it. And I believe that's kind of why we're in education. That's why we coach. We get some wins, but them losses, you learn so much. So I know it's been a very, very tumultuous time. I'm not sure if you knew, my brother-in-law actually passed away a couple months ago.
I remember that.
So that's still tough, man. And my boy B Camper passed away a couple weeks ago. And I had just finished talking to him about getting his son in the school that I'm coaching at. It's just people leaving here. And if it's COVID related or if it's not COVID related, it's the ups and downs of life, man, that we all have to be prepared for. So again, I always say, love on your people, man, because you don't know if they're gonna be here or not. Death's all around us. The older we get, man, the more we seeing our folks leave. It feels like the Green Mile, where he said his curse was seeing his friends and loved ones leave, and I have to sit here and watch them all pass. And it's like, man, I hate this, but this is what it is, and I have to think about what would they want me to do, and they would want me to continue to do what I do. Continue helping people, continue making people laugh, continue to be a genuine person. And, even if I don't know you, speak to you as if I did and get to know you if I don't. So I ain't a whole bunch of solid, precise advice or anything, but that's kind of like, what's going on right now as we get back in the flow of 1585. Appreciate y'all hanging with us, man. Everybody out here, keep doing what you're doing, man. Love on your loved ones. Who in here shouting out? Congrats on a great season, gents. Thank you, Miss Mac. Miss Mac got on glasses. Oh, hey, Miss Mac got her mask on and her Donna Summer glasses on. Mike Reed says, helping young people find their future. It's rewarding, man. You may not get your, you might not get it in a paycheck, but you get it a few years down the line when they come back and say, Mr. Mac, you were right. What you said happened. Shout out to both of you for working with our youth. Great work. Thank you, Elaine, for your service. I don't even know how many years you were in the education system and in the law enforcement system, but thank you for your service and enjoy your retirement. Elaine's retired. She's going to start her podcast soon. We'll see.
Congratulations, Elaine, on retirement.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Till next week, man. We holler at y'all. What's the Brotherhood podcast? We got The Time Is Now on Tuesday mornings. We still got AC Sports Live.
Collective Podcast.
Is the Collective Podcast, jumping around from time to time. The Sports Judge, John Mathis, my homeboy. I recently found homeboy in sportscasting. Sucker Punch will return at some point when Matt gets ready to produce some show. Next week. Sucker Punch Podcast coming back. Gonna hit you in the mouth. And the 1585 show, the granddaddy of them all. We here. We back. Glad y'all hung with us, man. We peacing out. This is not our music. We do not own the rights to this music, but we bump it every week. All right, man.
Reminds us of great times.
Yeah, man. You gonna try to shut me down? You won't let me be great. I'm great. All right, man. Holla at you, man. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all. All right, y'all.
Yes,
all right, AC, man. This was great, brother.
Miss Max said, which night?